So, welcome to the Be the Glue series where we share short and casual but really impactful conversations with individuals who have been the glue or are the glue by either bringing people together, ideas together, efforts together. And I'm so excited. Today, I am joined by my colleague and fellow disruptor, Anne Marie Depoian. Welcome, Anne Marie. Welcome.
Thank you, Lena. I'm loving it.
Anne Marie is the owner of the Depoian Team Financial Advisory Firm here headquartered in Rochester, New York. And it's been a certified woman-owned business since 2001. Wow, that's amazing. I'm excited to have you with us here today.
Thank you. Thank you. We keep running into each other everywhere, don't we?
I know, right?
Well,
Now,
you've been around as long as we have, right?
I know, right? So, Anne Marie, I mean, you've been in business for over 26 years now, right? And so, as you start to think about your work and how you support people, not just in their transitions, but also like you support them in ways how they can design how they live and work, right? And as you think about that type of work, what does the glue mean to you?
The glue is a lot of things, and I think women always feel like they're the glue. And with us, being self-employed and starting this journey, I wasn't alone. My spouse, my husband Jeff, of 28 years, has been on this journey with me for 26, and our two children. And so you're the glue at home, right? And you're the glue in your business. And recruiting and onboarding and developing new agents is a large part of what we do. And besides the client side, I mean, everybody's a client, right? So the people that work with you, as well as the consumers of our resources and who we do financial advising for. So, um, we make ourselves available Monday through Saturday. So that's glue for people, right? That we're reliable. You can count on us. We're going to pick up the phone. We have clients that call us on holidays and apologize. I said, don't apologize. We picked up the phone. That's why we're here. So, the glue is a lot of things. And, you know, thank God I have other glue. Jeff, when I have to, there's no such thing as balance, right? There's no such thing as balance. And so, if work demands you more, then you better have some glue at home, right? Because
Yes.
I can't be home. So Jeff is the glue at home. And, but, there's certain things mom still needs to do. They still want
Yeah.
mom, and aging parents. We're that sandwich generation.
Yes.
So
Oh,
we are so the glue. We are the peanut butter sticky stuff between the kids and then our parents. It's
yes.
sometimes we're the parents to our parents. And it's a lot of sticky glue, girl. It's a lot going on.
I love what you say. Like the glue needs the glue. Like I have, like my husband is my glue as well. And for my business, I have Courtney is my glue. And I've been trying to get her to do a video with me and talk about like what it takes to be the glue for the glue, you know? And
The super glue.
right? Yes, and I think we were talking with another guest a couple of episodes ago about like, well, what type of glue are you? Are you super glue? Are you glitter glue? And
Yeah.
so I might be doing something fun with it very soon, the types of glue. But as I'm thinking about the types of glue, I can't stop looking at your background with the types of hats that you have there. So I want to know more about what are those? Tell me more.
So
There's a
yeah,
story.
I think where's my first hat? My first hat. So I have my white hats over there. So my first hat I got from Gorin and Sons, and it was this white, like summery woven hat. And then I also got that. Oops, I'm trying to do. The people on TV do it much better. That blue one, with stripes right there, like this,
Yep,
like
yep.
the little like dome hat. That I think I bought those together, and then it just became a thing. Like I really like them, and whenever I go someplace, I want it to be unique and special. And then I have like little, accompaniments that I got when I was in Charleston. I got like little things that I could add to them. I got this beautiful ostrich feather, and I have my fascinators over here. I love my fascinators. So if
Do
you
they
don't know,
represent anything for you? Do you?
for me, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so
I love
cool.
being I love being able to show my fashion and my style because corporate America, it's weird, right? If you came to work like that, it was weird. And coming up in the 80s where it was business suits, you almost look like a man but wearing maybe a dress, a skirt with a suit or slacks, and everything was black, brown, or black, blue, gray, right? I always liked color. I'd always try to do a pop of color and style, and I always liked print and all of that. So um in sales, I kind of busted out a little more and was a little more, extravagant, showed my style a lot more. And being a business owner, you get to do that all the time. And now I'm known for that in my company. And people are like, Anne Marie, where's your hats? I did a training one time and I just kept putting on different hats for each topic that I
Yeah.
covered. It was a lot of fun. But if I had to be glue, I'd be that rubber cement because it stretches. There's nothing fixed about what I do. Jeff is more super glue. He would love to be set it and forget it, but he's married to me. So I'm the sketchy one.
I
So yeah.
love it.
So yeah, I'm gonna bend and flex. It's gonna, we're gonna be stuck, but if we need to, you know what I mean, that rubber cementy stuff.
Yeah. Be
So
a little
that,
bit
that's
flexible.
kind of
Yeah.
what glue I
What
am.
are, I want to hear, like, what is your favorite story of how you were the glue in a situation, either with a client or an individual, or even in your family? I mean, you wear so many hats. So pick a hat and share with us,
Yeah.
a story.
I think one that's very personal to me and that represents why I worked so hard to build what I built, right? In the beginning, when you build a business, it's all go, 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 get new stuff in. It's like, fill the pipeline. And I do recommend anyone who is doing that you also have a system for customer service and follow up, right? We didn't have a good one of those in place. And business started going up the back end because it was all get new, get new, get new. And we kept saying, yeah, there was going to be this customer service and follow up. And we really didn't have that system in place. And boy, when you start doing business, boy, you figure that out real quick. So, but you're building, and then you talk about putting your family first, right? It's, family and faith and and then work, those are supposed to be the priorities, but work really slants it. So my dad was diagnosed with an aggressive brain tumor, and we saw it, but then October is when and this was 2016, and he was gone January 19th of
Oh,
of
I'm
um,
sorry. Yeah.
17. But
Yeah.
I got to be there every single day during the day. I was the only one who wasn't retired, who could be there during the day. My two brothers worked. Anybody else my age had to work, and then after work they would come, and then I would get to leave because he had plenty of people in the evening and at night that could see him. But it was me and my mom and friends, retired friends, who could come up and see my dad. But that was the payoff for
Yeah.
all the work that I did, and that I could, step out and take a call or do something really quick. But I got to be there for those precious moments. And we didn't know how long he had, but it went quick, and I never regret that. So when I know people that are going through that, I said, take that time. You're never going to regret it. And yeah, that was really special.
Yeah.
Speak.
And be able to be flexible enough to be able to
Yeah,
do that. And because those are the special moments. Yeah. I can relate totally to that because similarly last year with my uncle, I was able to flex and be able to be available
Yeah.
while I could still manage my business. And
Yeah.
it was wonderful. And looking back now, I'm like, I wouldn't have done it any other way.
Any other way. And there's a lot, there's this sense of a badge of honor that, if you work so hard and you build and there's sacrifices you make and you miss things. Well, the reason why I got into this was so I could put my family first, and we didn't want to miss things. So, Jeff would go to things and I would go to things, but our kids always had at least one of us at everything, and oftentimes two. But in our business, especially male dominated, right? They don't understand the women because the women, their spouses are the ones at home taking care of the family. So they're the ones charging forward in the business. And so it's this, you got to make these sacrifices. And so a lot of women in my industry adopted that same mindset.
Mhm.
And I had this very wise woman tell me, she said, they say that your children, if they're young, they're not going to remember that you weren't there. They're not going to remember the sacrifice, or maybe they cried when you left or whatever. And there's certain events. And she said, they might not remember, but I will.
Well,
I
I was
want to
just thinking of that. Yes.
I want to go to that
Yeah.
because I want to remember. It's for my memories, not theirs, right? And that's what you have to build, because
Yeah.
that's what life is. You take away all this stuff, take away all the money and everything. What are you left with? It's your
Yeah.
memories and your relationships. And that's life.
That's it.
And if you're missing that and it's all about business and you're not enjoying it, you're not enjoying life, you better fix something. Something's got to be fixed.
Yeah.
Better
And you
fix
probably
something.
see that a lot with people transitioning and because people will come to you about their financial situation, but usually like that financial situation is connected to all other aspects of their life, not just their work, but their family, how they spend, how they manage their household, their relationships with their husband, their relationship
Yeah,
with their parents. And there's so much to that that it's hidden underneath. So you
yeah.
probably have some really interesting stories.
Yeah, the financial part of what we do is a joy, because getting involved in this wasn't my background. It wasn't the path that I initially chose for myself. I thought I was going to own an advertising agency. That's what I thought I was going to do. And I was very blessed to be able to get into advertising early on, like right after high school and everything. And while I was at Fisher in college, I worked my way through college and had to pay for all of that myself. And um, then this change happened. Like, you're going to have kids and everything. And you're like, you know what? I, I never I had very few bosses that I enjoyed, had a good relationship with. And I couldn't understand why. And there are leaders in a department who aren't your boss. And so I gravitated to those people who demonstrated leadership. But I always figured maybe it's because I was supposed to be a boss of myself and not have a boss.
Ooh.
So, and I'm not a boss of anybody else because we're all 1099. All my agents are independent, but we choose to work together. And I, hope to give them my experience. But our clients, as I learned about this industry and how badly people are lacking in
Mm.
financial knowledge, right? That to get people to set a goal. Like, sometimes I sit with someone and go, okay, what's important to you financially? And they're thinking about it for the first time when we're sitting down,
Wow.
you know? Um, when with my agents, what are some goals you have? I mean, how do you go through life without having a goal? I don't
Yeah.
know. So it's really important to know those things. And then learning that most people aren't following a plan, they're just being sold products. And that was never okay with me. And at first it was, but that's all I knew. That's all anybody knows. Yeah, you people sell you stuff and you go about your business, right? And knowing how predatory some things can be, and when people don't know, they don't know the questions to ask because you don't
Yeah.
know what you don't know, and that's a problem. And so we have very loyal clients because we teach them how money works. First of all, we put the plan together. We're in alignment with them. We don't have quotas. We're not, we, no pressure, those things, being available 6 days a week. But teaching them for the first time and watching somebody's eyes light up like, I understood everything you said,
Yeah.
you know, that is something else. And I know teachers say the same thing. When you
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that spark in
I
someone's
love
eye,
that spark.
yeah.
Yes. The
And
aha moment, in the
yeah,
moment when you're like, I know I just hit a chord because their face lit up, their body changed, like the body language and everything. I love those moments. I think those are the moments I live for too.
yeah,
When people start to make connections, and probably for your case, in your case, it's the connection of, oh my goodness, how did I not do this sooner than,
yeah. They
right?
never expected that they were supposed to learn it. Oh, I don't understand this stuff. My husband knows it,
Yeah.
or I don't. And then when I explain it simply, they're like, "Oh, okay, I do know it." And by the way, women need to understand money because at some point, my girlfriend used to say, they're either going to divorce us or die on us. So we need to, we need to understand our money.
And it's funny. You said before, like we're the sandwich generation, and
Yeah,
completely. So I'm when my kids are ready for college. My parents' health is probably going to start declining even more, and so definitely, right now, a lot of people are like, well, why are you doing everything you're doing? Because I say, I am in that sandwich generation. I can do these things now, but I know I'm prepared in the next 5 to 7 years. I'm going to have to start thinking about, you know, do I need to think about downgrading my parents into a smaller house or, somewhere closer to me? Or where are my kids going to go if they decide to go to college? I think the marketplace is changing, the workplace is changing,
yeah,
that might not even be an option.
mhm,
How is that going to look like? So
yeah,
that there is definitely always, I said, there's a reason to my madness. Like I start to think down the road, but I do think about life, from all different aspects, not just work. And yeah, the community we're building and the work that we're doing locally, it's awesome and amazing, but at the end of the day, it will come back to basics, right? How are you supporting your family? How are you thinking about the big picture?
for
And
sure, for
yeah,
sure. And we do a lot of workshops, and I, what lights me up is working in the creative. That's what I am. Where Jeff is more structured, a little bit analytical. So I always say, between the two of us, we fill out the
that's
disc.
awesome.
We're all the disc, right?
Yeah,
We're all the
yeah.
star or whatever. What are all the colors? We're all of them, right? Between the two of us. And and that really, really works out well. Um, but I love working in the creative. So I'll take something as simple as a How Money Works workshop that we help create for our company, really, financial wellness workshops, and I'll turn them into a game. And I love doing that because I want people to learn in different ways. And I'm a competitive person. I like that too. So, and it's like team building and you're learning, but you're competitive. And I love doing that. So, that's what I need to do. And I need to be out with people. I can't just be sitting at my desk all the time. So that's why you'll see me at the events we go to, right? I'm out and then I come back and then I, do what needs done and and I get to talk to my clients and just, hey, I was thinking about you. What's going, I'm so glad you called. I was thinking about you too, you know. And it is so great that, after all these years, even if we didn't get any new business, that there's enough that keeps coming because of, the business that we built. Right.
Yeah, and the
And I,
relationships with people,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
And I built it. I had a client yesterday ask me, well, Anne Marie, I really love working with you and Jeff. Everything's good. But what happens when you cease to exist? And I go, oh, I'm dying, am I? Okay. And I go, well, and I said without skipping a beat, my son Joey, he'll be great and you're gonna love him. He goes, no, I don't mean die, I mean retire. I go, well, you said cease to exist. So But we do have that, there's
That's
contingency
yeah,
plan and there's succession planning. And I worked very, very hard to get ownership, and I got that during COVID. And, every time, you hit a goal, you hit a goal. But ownership of a business, and in our business, that means, it's an asset, right? It's
of
a
course. Yeah.
and all that. And my children know that, and my daughter isn't as excited because she said, in order for me to take it over, you guys have to be gone. Because and she goes, I don't want that. So she's kind of sweet in that way. But so we do have that plan. And so I talk about those things. I talk to my clients about, preparing. Like,
Yeah.
if you couldn't go to work, like we work from home. What
Yeah.
if our internet gets knocked out? Do you have another place to go? Right? I have always have two phones. I was taught that a long time ago. You better have two cell phones. You like the one you got? Have another one on backup, because if something happens, what would you do without your phone?
Yeah.
Right? So all these contingency things. And then with Rochester, with the weather,
Oh
we
yeah.
can have a flood, we can have a snowstorm, we can have, an earthquake. 2.3 earthquake just happened last night. I mean, you can get anything. You better be prepared. You got to have all of this stuff. So there's that. And then, Alina, did I ever talk to you about having a bail team?
Ooh, I like that. Tell us more. Tell us more about the B.A.I.L
Okay.
team.
I talk to more and more people about that, because when I work with businesses, I ask them that. And I learned that through the Rock Women's Business Center. Give a little plug. But it's the B.A.I.I. I added an I, so now it's mine, and L. So it's 5 things. And it relates to businesses. But I tell my individuals to have it too, because it just makes sense. So B is business banker. If you're in business, a business banker. But if you're an individual, you need to have a good relationship with the bank. Please understand they work for you, right? They make a lot of money off of you when you put money in a bank. So you better have a good relationship with your bank. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, right? Always in life. So have a good relationship with a bank and shop around, like go, rates and all that kind of stuff, but where they, respect you. The A is an accountant. You want a CPA, an accountant who is an enrolled agent, or someone who does taxes who's an enrolled agent. Why? Take it from someone who's been audited. They represent you in an audit. They
Yes.
keep you out of hot water with the IRS. They do everything. They tell you what to say, and more importantly, what not to say.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they take care of everything. So an accountant, an enrolled agent, CPA. And then the 2 I's are what we take care of: insurance and
Mhm.
investing, right? Listen, if you're going to be in business for yourself, and even if you are working somewhere, you got to pay yourself first.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody's doing that. There's no pensions. They're dinosaurs, right? Um, Social Security is not going to be enough. You have got to pay yourself. My mom was that kind of mom that said, even first job, right? Take $5 and set it aside. Well, mom and dad always had the right discipline, but because they didn't know how money works, the only place they knew was the bank. So, as my dad would say, right church, wrong pew. The
Yep.
discipline of saving is correct, but putting it in the bank to grow wealth is not
Yep.
correct. So I could only imagine how wealthy my parents would have been with the disciplines that they had. If they had no debt and they
Wow.
saved the way
Yeah.
they saved, but if they could have put it somewhere where their money could have made them money, I could only imagine, you know. But so that's investing. Insurance, there's a lot of insurances.
Yeah.
Insurances protect your income so you don't got to come out of pocket, right? So you need business insurance. You should have life insurance. You know that the one insurance that's not required, and it's the most important, right? And life insurance is a protection while you're growing money and while you're getting out of debt. You don't need it forever. We can talk about that another time. But um, you know, auto, home, commercial insurance, right? Things that protect you from taking,
Yeah.
pulling out of pocket. But life insurance, there's a time and a place for that. And if you're a business planning ahead, maybe key
Yeah.
man insurance and things like that. So those are your eyes: insurance, investing, right? Making sure you're taking advantage of all the tax advantages that you have. Tax laws are written by business owners for business owners. And, so you want to take advantage of those things. And there's a lot of things out there. And people go, well, investing is too expensive. Did you talk to someone professional or are you just making that assumption?
It's
Right.
an assumption. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Total
can know
assumption.
somebody $25 a month to 25 million and everything in between. Let's go. Right. And then lastly, L is your lawyer. You need access to a good attorney to give you good recommendations. Now, a good bail team, we work together. We're collaborative. Who do
Mhm.
we work for? You. We work for the client. We are their professional team in the background, supporting, educating, doing everything we can for the client. And a bail team works great together when we work together. The only time we have trouble is when other people try to hop into the other lanes, right?
Mm.
They got ego, they think they know, and they don't. Listen, I don't give tax advice, and hopefully a tax person doesn't give financial advice. Lawyers shouldn't do that, right? Everybody's got to stay in their lane. Okay, we're complementary, we're not competitive.
I love that. And I was going to ask you, give me some nuggets that we can share with the audience. And it's a lot of HR professionals, right? But I mean, anybody can benefit from this, regardless if they have a business or not, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
And so for my,
individuals should have that. Yeah.
yeah, oh, for sure, for sure. Because I mean, um, my husband and I, early in our marriage, we decided to also start buying properties. So we are landlords on the side too.
Right.
So that having a team, I never like refer to it as a bail team, but I love that acronym because it's so easy to remember. So, but early on, we started building those businesses or those relationships when we started that real estate investing business. And I would probably add here like a good real estate agent. If
Yeah,
you
if
were
you're in
to
that
be in that
business, for
real
sure.
estate business, I would
Yeah.
add a good real estate agent because that's where you build these relationships, and some of them are for life. Like our CPA, we've been with him forever, and he's
Hmm.
phenomenal. And every year, I even considered buying another business a couple of years ago, and he supported in assessing, right, and looking at the risk or no risk or the levels of risk and just providing feedback and thoughts. And same, like he collaborated with a lawyer to be able to provide it's been wonderful to have a team of individuals to help us. Yeah.
And thinking about it, I do have relationships with realtors because, you're not gonna perhaps stay in the same building. I had people who friends of mine that rented for a long time and then decided to
Mhm.
buy and own the building. So knowing realtors it's a real good thing. And again, contingency planning and CPAs. I mean, everybody gets older. I used to make fun of, oh, those 50-year-old agents, they're getting so old. Girl, I, I go, oh no, I'm becoming one of the older agents.
Oh no.
But but it's you always need to have a B plan and
Yeah.
sometimes a C plan.
Yeah.
Keep good relationships. And here's another thing, and I like to tell stories to illustrate a point. So the reason why you should have maybe access to another advisor, another lawyer, another CPA, right? I'm
Mhm.
not saying you should use two all the time or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But you're saying he's been in business a long time. He could retire, right? And you may not like who takes over
Yeah.
his business. You might want to, just kind of keep that awareness. But my mom went to the same primary care doctor for 50 years and he died. So the new doctor came in, and for all of my mom's life, since she was a teenager, was taking thyroid medication. Never had it removed or anything, but she was always taking thyroid medication. So the new doctor comes, and rather than just refilling my mother's prescription, did a whole blood work panel, and she's like, "Why do we got to do all this? Don't you got the notes from doctor?" He did, yeah, yeah, but I'm new. I want to make sure we start fresh. I want to, baseline. I want to know.
Yep.
I want to do everything new. He told my mother, Marina, there's nothing wrong with your thyroid. It's asleep. So he cut the prescription in half, cut the pill in half, weaned her off. She doesn't have to take pills anymore. right? And this was years ago. And she was so upset. She goes, "So, how many years have I
Yeah.
been time picking it up,
Yeah.
money spent on this, and not needing a
Not
medication?
needing it. That's
Just
like the biggest.
kept rubber stamping
Yeah.
the freaking prescription for decades and decades for my mother." So it took a new doctor to see that, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, especially in financial advising, listen, you probably have a great financial advisor
Yeah.
and maybe your investments are doing well, but I always like to say, compared to what? You don't
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
And your advisor is doing the best they can with the products that they represent. I don't represent every single product, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's why you got to look and say, listen, and it's never a bad thing to have more people, working for you and maybe having somebody else take a look, right? And if your advisor is really your friend, because you build relationships, right?
Yeah.
And I had people say that, and I go, oh, um, if they're truly your friend, because they said, oh, we built up this friendship and all this stuff, well, then they're going to want what's best for you. And if what's best for you is somewhere else, then they'll still be your friend. And it's hard to break up with your
Yeah.
advisor,
Yeah.
your
Very
banker,
true. Very
whoever.
true.
It's breaking up, and people get so emotionally wrapped up and tied up in that. And my one girlfriend, when she left and came to me, she goes, "Oh, we're friends and all this stuff." And he got mad at me. And, and I haven't talked to him since. And I'm like, so was that friendship, or was that just based on the fact that you were giving him something and he was earning something off of you? So anyway,
Yeah.
I don't like contingency friendships. You're
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
with,
Exactly. Exactly.
and I'm still friends with agents who are no longer my agents. I'm still friends with clients who are no longer my clients. So you better decide, are you going to be an authentic human being, right? So,
Exactly, exactly. And so help me with like if you were to have one piece of advice,
mm,
what would it be? What's like your golden rule or
you
the tough one?
got to get money making you money. You do,
Mm.
and, I think everybody should have a Roth IRA. Now, Miss Selena probably makes too much money now to have a Roth IRA. So, you better get into one while you still can, because when you make too much money, the government says you can't have one. So yeah, I got income out of my Roth IRA, and I'm in a 401k. But it starts
It
simply.
starts, yeah.
Teach your kids about money. I always say, listen, you want to teach your kids about money. Don't make them learn that on the street.
No, I love that. And so I it's so funny you say that because I have the same like mindset. I always think about like don't put your eggs all in one basket.
Right?
Your 9 to 5 is a basket of eggs. So when you start to, you know, kind of have different income streams, like I'm all for that. And that's why like in the works
Did
is
you
an
hear
income.
what she said? Different income streams.
Yeah.
You can't have just one. And if you and your spouse work at the same place, oh, right?
That yeah, so for
That's
you
big
and
time
Jeff
risk.
to be together, yeah, that is a big, right, big risk. So that was the mindset that my husband and I, as we started thinking about like real estate being one income stream, then I have in the works being income stream, right? And within in the works is kind of like an ecosystem of different things that I'm doing. So that's why people are always like, you have so many projects. And I'm like, but they're all like passion projects that they
Yeah.
are a different income stream that if when I actually left, my 9 to 5, a few years ago, it was, I didn't feel like I had those golden, you know, what is it? The golden handcuffs that
Handcuffs. Yeah.
that corporate does and like makes you feel. And it's been liberating to have that.
You want to know what gets my glue really sticky? I'm going to tell you some of my things that are financial things that get me really like heated up and sticky. So when people tell me that their investment doesn't have any fees, that's impossible.
Mm.
That's number one. 401ks, when you leave your job, bring your money with you. Don't leave your money. Why? Because you're just a participant in that plan. You don't own, right? Who is the client? Your employer. You are not the client. And but I'm getting good returns there. I don't pay fees. That's not true. And everything's fine. Why should I move it? Well, because your employer's going to move it and isn't even going to ask you.
Yeah.
So all those things that you're in aren't going to matter. Right now, one of my big pet peeves: 403bs, teachers in 403bs.
Mm.
Girl, the deep dive, it's very simple. Their platforms are all held by a company here in Rochester, which I'm very proud, Omni Group, and they're the third party administrator. These platforms have like 20 different choices
Oh,
for
wow.
their 403b. First of all, why do you need that many? Second of all, only there's two different types of 403bs: a 403b1 and a 403b7. The 403b7, very much lower in fees. The 403b1, very, very expensive. Which one are most people in?
And the one, of course. Mm.
Yes,
Yeah. Because they don't know. They
they
just
don't know. And if everybody's telling them, go sit with them, they're going to enroll you in the 403b. Well, they're the ones sitting in the break room and they got the brownies and everything. And they're the big company that, has, a lot of agents and resources. And that's 403b is their business. And there's a reason for that. They make a lot of freaking money. But we did an analysis. And did you know if a teacher stays working 20 years and chooses the wrong 403b, that is the difference of having 100, 200, or $300,000 less
oh,
in your
wow.
account because of those fees.
Wow.
And it's no joke. And it's very, very difficult for me to get in to talk to the superintendents of these schools to see what they know about their platform that's just been rubber stamped, like my mom, right?
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah.
going, keep it going. This isn't our biggest
Yeah.
concern.
Wow.
We have retirement, blah, blah, blah. So they put the responsibility on the teachers to know what they're signing up. People don't know what they're signing for.
They don't.
They don't. And not like they can advise at work. You can't do that, right? Because you're not a licensed professional. You can't make
Of
recommendations.
course. Yeah.
Any of that. But yeah, I've actually got combative with one of the school districts, that they don't want to talk to me. And I'm like, but first of all, the people in their whole district don't even know how the 403b works. They don't even know who put those on the platform. They thought Omni chose the investment choices. I go, no, 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 that comes from you guys. And they go, yeah, we looked it up and it is us. I said, well, don't you want to talk about it? Anyway, girl, I can go on.
Wow.
It's
I could, and you put me so many thoughts in that. Now I'm like, oh, I should probably go check on my phone. Am I wrong?
if we, yeah. So it's like I said, just getting a second pair of eyes to look at it. Being a fiduciary, we always must do what's in people's best interest, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't have any products I need to sell. I don't have any quotas. I get to use the best of the best companies, and I'll make a recommendation, whether I represent it or not. If what you have is good, I'm going to tell you to leave it alone. But if it can be done better, it's
Yeah.
my
Why not?
responsibility to share it with you, and then the choices are yours.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you want a good financial advisor who works 100% for you. They work for a company and they don't sell that company's products. How long are they going to have a job? So are they truly unbiased? Mm, just
I
something.
love that. I love so get a bail team.
Get a
That
bail
is
team.
number one. And where can people find you? Where can people find you, Anne Marie?
Yeah, so we're headquartered in Rochester, 485 Titus Avenue, right near Hudson. So from our parking lot behind the building, we can see like around the point liquor, not a bad place, but we can walk right into that Women's Plaza from our business. But I do business in all 50 states. I'm licensed in all 50 states. I'm even mortgage licensed. So
Nice.
I don't think anybody has as many licenses as I do in the industry, but we don't do stock, right? That's a little too rich for our client's blood. It's too risky. We work again with middle income families and above, so we don't trade stock. So that's not something that we do. But everything else under the sun is what we do.
Wonderful. And you have a website and any
Yes,
socials? Okay.
you can find me on all the socials. I'm Mrs. Moneymaster on Instagram. I am, Anne Marie Depoian on LinkedIn, Mrs. Moneymaster on, and I think it's Anne Marie Depoian, Regional Vice RVP, Primerica, Mrs. Moneymaster. I think you can find me at all of
And
those
we'll
things.
tag all that. We'll put it all on the video
Yeah, yeah,
below.
yeah.
Yes.
But there's
Yeah.
some really great resources, on-demand resources. If you look up how money works, you'll see some great videos on my landing page, which I can give you so you can
Yeah.
link that.
Yeah. Let's link it.
There's some great videos on there, just informational videos. And knowledge is power, but applied knowledge, that's really
Oh, it's even more
that's
powerful. Applied
powerful.
knowledge. I love that.
Don't just look at it, do something about it, right? Don't just sit there and learn it. Make whatever you learn, apply it. And I think that's what makes me successful. When I learn something new, I try to apply it immediately, as soon as possible.
Well, thank you. I always love talking to you. I learned so much from you. And I just love your energy and love watching both or seeing you and Jeff, every event
A
locally,
dynamic
but
duo. Yeah,
it's
we're always
awesome.
together.
Thank you, Anne
For
Marie, for
sure.
joining today. Say hello to Jeff.
Thank you so much. And good luck with this. I can't wait to see all the other videos.